Thank you. Hello, viewers. Welcome back to the show. As always, Chris Honors, but today we have my very one and only guest joining us on today's show. Is no other person than Uruemu Adejinmi. She is a current councillor for County Longford. Hello, sister. How you doing?
I'm good, Jonas. Thanks for having me on. How are you?
You're highly welcome. You're highly welcome. First, I want to congratulate you for this wonderful job. It's a great pleasure to have you on the show. It's not easy to do it, but I'm glad you made it, you know? So talk us through, how did the journey begin for you?
Well, it began in 2016 where I engaged with a general election candidate, at that time an independent candidate, and I asked a question on one of his policies. And I ended up getting involved in his campaign and, you know, encouraging Africans to get behind him. Unfortunately, he didn't emerge victorious at the end of the elections in 2016. However, what happened at that time was my neighbour, who was a member of my party, observed all that went on at that time, and then he got in touch with me and asked me to join his party. I suppose because I got involved, I got engaged, he recognised that I had an interest in the political activities going on in Ireland. So he invited me to join the party. I obliged. I attended our dashes, I attended common meetings and CDCs, and you know, I ended up being on a ticket last year, which was my first, my baptism of fire. It was indeed, that's, you know, the Irish electoral system is totally different from what we're used to in Nigeria. You know, Nigeria have rallies and people going to a designated location, you have posters on the place, whereas here you have to go door to door to canvass and to meet residents. So in a way, it was a bit intimidating for me because I have never been exposed. I had never campaigned, you know, actively with any candidate in the past in terms of going door to door. So it was really an eye opener. And on a positive note, I got to meet a lot of people, and you know, that got me a lot of votes. So even though I didn't get elected last year, I was placed 10th out of 16 candidates, and I was the only non-native of the 16. So to come 10th, I think was a testament of the huge work that my team and my team of novices, we were all novices, really. And it was an encouragement as well to say, do you know what, people are willing to embrace change, to consider alternatives. So I didn't let that stop me, the fact that I didn't get elected. So I was still very active in my party. I got some official roles at local level. And then, you know, when one of our councillors got, you know, progressed to the Dáil and got elected as TD this year, then his position became available. And again, with the Irish political system, the party backfills that role through co-option. So
amazing. What party you belongs to, if I may ask you?
Fianna Fáil.
Fianna Fáil. Oh, great. Amazing. So I know it could be really, really challenging, especially time like this where we have this epidemic going on. I know, like we were saying earlier on, you should have been out there to, you know, to do more work for your community and, you know, help the people see what they need and what needs to be done. Since you're working from home, how are you managing yourself to get this on, you know?
Okay, so thanks to technology, we are all connected, you know, on social media. So
very true.
Yeah. So it takes it helps a lot of us public representatives to still keep in contact with a lot of our constituents. So what I'm doing at the moment is following up with the HSE updates, and my party is circulating information amongst ourselves as well. So we publish that on our pages on social media, on our websites, and encourage people to engage and to get in touch with us as well. So I'm finding myself sharing my phone number publicly, which is something that I never have imagined I'd be doing. But in order to make sure that you're serving the people by all means necessary, you have to do that. And then the residents are getting in touch,
Very
and
good.
and as political representatives as well, we have we are able to move about to a certain degree, because we have to be on call, so to speak, if people need things brought to them, if like with the shortage of PPE and all of that. I was contacted by a group who had made a cash contribution, and I made sure that found its way to one of the voluntary organizations who were helping with food deliveries, helping people at a disadvantaged position. So, doing our bit, there's so many different organizations working and make sure that, the over 70s who are cocooning are being looked after, and they're not, or too isolated, and make sure that, the people with special needs are being looked after and are not, left to the sidelines. So, and thanks to our frontline workers who are working hard to flatten the curve. And thankfully, we had the announcement by the chief medical officer that the curve is flattening, and we are not going to hit the peak that was feared. So,
that's a good.
It's the collective work of everybody to make sure this happens. So.
Happy days. I'm looking forward to that,
Yeah.
It is not really easy. We have to be like this, and like you mentioned there, appreciation go to other frontline workers like the nurses and doctors who are putting their life at risk to actually save lives. It is not really, really easy. So back to yourself, how are you and family really, spending time together at this time? We'll be talking about politics and health. Let's talk about family. So how is that going for you guys?
It's going great. I suppose, not with the normal life and all the stress that is involved. You have parents heading out to work first thing in the day, kids heading out to school, and we all come back maybe from 4 or 5 stakes, and we only have a few hours before it's bedtime. So this has given my family, for one, the opportunity to really get back to know each other. So we're nearly thrown back to those days where they are like tiny gossams, and we're at home, say on maternity leave, getting to know our babies, looking after their needs. So we're literally thrown back to that time. So it's given us an opportunity to get to know each other. I have my 3 kids are aged between 10 and 17. So we are bonding, and we're looking for different activities to make sure that we're not all locked up in our rooms. So then we go for walks, for 2-kilometer walks, and I'm trying to make sure, because I have teenage kids, just to make sure that they're not feeling too much pressure. So checking on them in their rooms, and try and find activities that will involve all of us. So credit to them, now they are not complaining too much.
No, they know what is at stake.
Well, like we've heard a couple of young adults, who I know it's really hard for them because they're not used to this. Like I said, as a mother, there was a time where I spent most of my time at home with my babies. So this is kind of me being back in that space. But for them, they're used to meeting their friends, escaping home, for the couple of hours they're in school. So it's hard. I know my eldest had a friend of his who was on, I think, the student exchange, a German student, and because of COVID-19, he had to go back. And my son wanted to go and just, say goodbye. And I said, sorry, that can't happen because,
that's true.
You have to
very,
protect
very
yourself.
true.
So, but fair play to them. A lot of the teenagers are really, really doing a great job, and they're engaging. The schools have work on Google Classrooms and Microsoft 365, so they are, connecting.
Through that means,
exactly. So they are keeping engaged with keeping busy with their schoolwork and with their homework. So Actually, I have two kids in leaving cert year and junior
Yeah.
cert year. So
Yeah. Wow. Same time.
at the same time. So my youngest son is thrilled to be
Wow.
to have junior cert cancelled. So
Oh,
he's
good.
looking forward to going on to transition year,
Wow.
and so hopefully by that time a lot of the lockdown will be over. We'll be trying to get back to some sense of normal. But for
Finger
now,
crossed.
they're doing
Finger
great.
crossed.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Please God.
You know, for me personally, it's just the news being told about, teenagers before we have this lockdown. And I really feel like since this whole lockdown, we don't hear any issues about teenagers and stuff like that. I think this is the best time. I think parents should take full responsibility, get to know who the kids are, whether male or female, and be able to understand different things. And hopefully when we come back again to normality, hopefully things will change in our society and everybody will be happy rather than, more of this news going back and forward. So before we wrap things up, I believe you can't just wait for things to go back to normal so you can do what you are elected to actually do, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Looking forward to going out. Again, the lockdown literally happens a
Mm-hmm.
few weeks after I got co-opted, so I haven't really had the opportunity to get stuck in and, make sure that people are aware of who I am and they can get in touch with me if they have any issues at all,
Issues
or
at all.
if they
Yeah.
even need somebody to talk to. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope everyone is keeping safe, and fingers crossed we'll get there soon.
Perfect. Just before we wrap things up, what would be the last word you want to say to other people? It doesn't matter what nationality you are, but there's always going to be a chance for you, only if you make the effort. Tell us one word.
So it's just, COVID-19 is not considering anything at all. All they see are host bodies. So it doesn't matter what nationality you are. It doesn't matter what area of the country you are. So, we are doing so good, to trying to flatten the curve, following the guidelines by the HSE, and we're doing brilliantly. And as I said, the curve is flattening. So we just need to, stay the course and keep social distancing, keep staying indoors as much as possible, and keeping our mental health in check as well. Calling and speaking to our loved ones, and please God, we'll get out of this and get back into a new sense of normality. Yes.
Uruemu, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having you on this very show. We appreciate the fact you tell us everything we need to talk about today. I appreciate that. Thank you, and I look forward to want to have you when we're back to studio so we can have more conversation and we'll talk. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Just stay with us for a minute.